right, guys, that is Tyler, aka Nanogenix, and today I wanted to make one sort of final video about this Z update. And if you're an existing player that maybe hasn't been around in a while and this sort of piqued your interest, you saw this and you recommended, and you're like, hang on, let's see what Nano's talking about. What I'm gonna say is stick around, and if you're a new player, for sure stick around. Let's go ahead and let's dive in. So what I found interesting is a lot of people on my timeline, I guess, thought that the Z update that was teased at the battle hour just a few days ago was actually going to include that same name update, which allows you to use characters with the same name, aka Intelligence UI with STR UI. You can now put those on the same team. They don't link together, but they can be ran on the same team now, as well as this baton battle, which is essentially an adventure system. If you're familiar with adventures on Legends, if you're not, it's essentially something where your characters go do things while you're not in app. As you can see on your screen right now, that's why we've got like a chibi LR Goku. It's gonna like change the characters in some sort of chibi form, and they'll do stuff while we're not in app. So that's coming via this 4.6 update, 4.16 update. And what it's showing here is you have like multiple Super Saiyan Vegetas, and you have multiple Super Saiyan 1 Gokus being able to be in the same team. So that is coming. The other big thing too today, which I don't spend too much time on it, but moving forward, is when you summon specific characters off of these banners. So SSRs from Dokkan Festival banners, SSRs from Legendary Summon banners, and SSRs from like support banners and stuff like that, or, you know, heroes, all those that give you blue coins, double rates banners, you'll be able to actually exchange those over now for coins. Past SSRs, not gonna be able to do that, but new SSRs moving forward that you can't use, you don't necessarily have to bob with them anymore. You can actually exchange them directly over for coins from the banners that you received them from. That's a very specific caveat of this. So if you've just hoarded a bunch of SSRs in the past, you can't just automatically use those when this update drops. It will be only SSRs moving forward, because they want you to specifically use the SSRs obtained from those specific banners as it is laying out here for you. And then also, it looks like instead of it taking up, like, you know, you've got 10 of this Super Saiyan Goku, it looks like they'll be kind of collapsible, making it a little bit easier to view your actual box, which I'm very, very excited about, because I have just so many of a lot of the same characters. But the reason why we're here, and the reason why I wanted to talk about this, is let me roll the clip in case you happen to miss it.
In English, you might be thinking, what on earth is version Z? Right now, the development team is hard at work updating the game to this new version, version Z. With version Z, we're making improvements to the game in order to make Dokkan Battle more fun and easier to play for existing players. Of course, we're also keeping new players in mind as well, and plan to add content to make the game easier to jump into. We're still in the middle of the development of version Z, so please check the in-game notices and official social media posts for any further updates.
So version Z. Now, I think a lot of people are underselling this. A lot of people thought the Peton battle, the same name, you know, all that was going to be this version Z update, and now it's not. And now a lot of people are thinking, well, all right, let's not put too much weight on this Z update. I think it's the exact opposite. Truly, I truly believe it is the exact opposite. The fact that they would take time in this massive battle hour thing where a lot of eyes are on them, you know, the same stage where they revealed the final major story DLC for Kakarot. Very, very large game for them. Fighters, SSJ4 Gogeta, more expansions for Xenoverse 2, one of the most successful Dragon Ball console games of all time, and then also Legends dropping an LF Rosé. For them to take time to announce an update coming to the game and calling it the version Z, I think this is as big as, say, Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z. Like, I think that's why they probably chose that. I think this is bigger than a 0.01 update or a 0.1 update. I think this is massive. And to keep it realistic, again, this is a lot of just speculation, so I don't want to get anyone's hopes too far up there. But to keep it realistic, I think it will be probably a big overhaul of the infrastructure of the game. So probably something that requires us to re-download all the files for the game, even if you're not transferring or any of that. Similar to if you guys played Legends when they did the update to allow the game to load much faster, which it does now. We had to re-download all the assets. So probably something similar to that. And so the realistic thing, I think, will be probably just making a lot of what they do on the back end much easier, which allows them to give us much better updates, bigger updates, and probably even faster updates, right? And so that's what I realistically think and hope this version Z is. And I hope it does implement new ways of playing. What you're seeing over here on your screen is a mixture of Dokkan Battlefield 1.0 and the Dokkan game that was exclusive to the China region. A lot of people called it the Chinese Dokkan Battle, but essentially used assets from Dokkan. It wasn't called Dokkan, if I'm not mistaken, but it used assets from Dokkan, but you played in a totally different way. So this is where we get into Dreamer Nanogenix state. What I hope and pray this Dragon Ball Z, this Dokkan Z update is a soft relaunch of the game to get new players to actually want to play the game and to get existing old players that have quit to come back. That is what I hope, and why they mentioned existing new players to begin with, because a lot of people have fallen off, right? Like look at the worldwide celebration. They didn't call it the worldwide celebration because they were all of a sudden feeling humble. Let's not flex our millions of downloads on people. No, it obviously didn't hit a quota that they would have expected to be sort of like, yes, let's call it the 350 million download celebration. It obviously didn't hit that, or they would have just used that, right? Look at us. We have 350 million downloads. No, it was probably more like the 305 million or the 310 or 315, whatever it might be. So what exactly do I mean by soft relaunch? I mean taking the bubble popping game that we've had for 6 years and giving us a whole different section that we load into that is a totally new way to play the game. Obviously, I don't mean getting rid of like what I'm gonna call here Dokkan Classic. There would still be Dokkan Classic, but then there would be just this entirely new mode or modes as well. So they would obviously still add events and stuff to the classic way of playing Dokkan, but then also adding new modes and events to this new way of playing Dokkan. So this would be a way to get new players to be interested in it, because let's just be very realistic. I'm not talking to those of you that are like me, that are super deep into the Dokkan Twitter sphere, Dokkan YouTube sphere, Dokkan everything, right? This isn't to y'all, right? This is hopefully to appease all of us, and including me, but to those of you that still watch, that used to play but don't play anymore, this is what I think this is probably aimed at, because when you look at the mobile gaming sphere in 2021, nobody really wants to play what Dokkan is anymore. This is not really what people are looking for out of their mobile apps. And I hate to use this game as a direct comparison, but look at what Grand Cross is doing. Grand Cross is a very, very, very good game, a very well-made game, a very greedy game, but it is very well made. And a lot of people play that game that don't even care about 7 Deadly Sins. And that says a ton about a gacha game that is based on an IP, because usually the sort of grab with these is they make you want to summon for characters that you have an attachment to. But there's a lot of people playing Grand Cross that don't even really care about 7 Deadly Sins, or they might now simply because of Grand Cross, because 7 Deadly Sins is a pretty big manga and pretty big IP, but it is literally nothing in comparison to Dragon Ball, but it's up there on the charts, closing in on making as much money as these Dragon Ball games. And I think it even made more than Legends. That says a lot about it. So in the sort of gaming, the mobile gaming sphere of 2021, Dokkan just isn't really cutting it anymore. And a lot of people that are hopping onto the Play Store looking for things to play, they see Dokkan and they go, nah, I'm good. So what I think this is truly a soft relaunch, something where we don't have to go back through and summon for all these characters all over again for the 3rd time if you play Dokkan and Legends, through like a whole new game, a whole new app, and all of that. So I think this is essentially just like Dokkan Battle 2.0 within Dokkan, right? So Dokkan Battle 2, I guess I should say, within Dokkan, and not making us start over on a whole entirely new game. I think that could be what this actually is, because I think based on some of the things we've seen and some of the rumors we've heard, I think Dokkan is under a different producer. Maybe they brought a new producer in to say, hey, get this cleaned up. This is a massive, massive game for us. We can make even more money if you just go in there, do all these things to make it better and bring new people in, because that's something they care about. They care about bringing new players in. They want new players, they want new eyes on their IP, new eyes, you know, on their game and all of that. That is a very big deal to them. And so again, obviously the fact that it wasn't called a $1 million celebration, they aren't hitting their certain quotas they really want to be hitting with that. So what it sounds like is we have a new producer in there, and it is going to be very interesting to see if this Z update is truly a new way to play Dokkan. With me putting that out there, I'm very curious. Would you guys like to see that, or would you just rather have a totally new app? I think the answer would be just see them updating Dokkan, because I don't think any of us want to summon for UI again, or all the Super Saiyan Gokus again, the Super Saiyan Vegetas and the Jirins and just everything all over again. I'd rather them just keep making new characters while also allowing us to use our old library of characters as well. So I really, really, really hope that is what the Z update is. Hope that I'm not overselling it, and I pray that a lot of y'all are underselling it right now. So that is what I'm hoping. I want to put this out there. If you guys enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. But that is my thoughts without going too deep into the weeds with this Z update. So anyways, y'all, have a great, good day. Keep on keeping on Nanogenix and off, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.